Hello, I am the Witch of Jasmine and welcome back to my channel. So today the moon is crossing into Libra, so I have a reading for my Libra moons. Let's dive right into it. And of course, if you are not a Libra moon, but you just feel drawn to this reading or you feel like you might connect with it, that's totally valid. There we go. Remember that in these readings, I'm going to tell you a lot of things, and not most of those things, but a lot of those things are just going to be based off of my own intuition. So remember to also use your intuition. That's arguably the most important part. If you feel something jumping out at you, or you have a little ding moment, pay attention to that. That's probably really important for you. Alright, so just taking some deep breaths. Let's finish shuffling our cards. Getting some really, I don't know what word to use, some really interesting energy off of these. I don't know how to describe it. Very curious what this is about. Please ignore the plane or enjoy the ambiance. Alright. Libra moons, let's take a look. So, we've got exchanging gifts. Interesting. Alright, let's see what cards we've got. So, first we have Knight of Swords, King of Wands reversed, Four of Swords reversed, Eight of Cups, the Wheel, and Knight of Wands reversed. What the heck is this energy? What? I don't know what I'm feeling. What is this? So, I think that there's something that you walked away from fairly recently. I don't know if it was like a relationship or a job or something. Something that you walked away from that was not easy to walk away from. You know, with I'm looking at this Eight of Cups here. With this Eight of Cups, I like to say that it's 95% bitter and 5% sweet, right? It's it's something that's really difficult to walk away from, to move on from, but it is a tiny bit sweet because you know that you'll be moving on to something better. And I think that's really interesting that it's paired with this Knight of Swords energy, because Knight of Swords, I mean, we have this figure who's, you know, looking very powerful on this horse, right? And with swords energy, it is very quick, very high energy, just like, you know, a knight riding off into the distance. So I'm getting the feeling that although this is a situation that was difficult to make the decision to move on from, you moved on really well. You did a really good job. I will say really quickly, I have a feeling that this is a chronological reading, meaning that it's this, then this, then this. So I'm going to speak in terms of that, but and that means I don't know exactly where you are in this timeline. You could be anywhere in this timeline right now. Obviously, this is a general reading, but anyway, so, but yeah, I feel like this was something you did a really good job of moving on from, or are doing a really good job of moving on from, or whatever. So kudos to you. But next we have King of Wands with the Wheel. So the Wheel card, you know, that represents the Wheel of Fate, right? It's a very old pagan symbol of, you know, for cycles of life. You know, what comes up must come down, you know. And I think that's something we can all understand, right? You go through times in your life when things are good, and then they're not so good, and then they're good, and then they're not so good, and, you know? So, having King of Wands reversed, I just think it's really interesting to have this king energy in what feels like it would be a new cycle on this okay, well, yeah, okay, I guess that makes sense then. I think you're moving on. I'm gonna, as an example, put this in the context of a job, but of course this could be in whatever context it relates, you know, in your life. I think maybe you were in a pretty rough job, or doing a job that was not good for you, or wasn't, you know, you didn't feel good in, and it was really difficult to quit that job or whatever. It was a really difficult decision. It's a scary decision, but you did it, and it was ultimately for the better. And like, that's some really powerful energy that you use there. But maybe now, as you're looking for a new job, or I don't know, whatever that next chapter is, you're being a little unrealistic. Like, for example, maybe you worked as a waitress for a couple months and that job was awful and you hated it. And now you're looking to become the manager at a new restaurant, even though that might not be super realistic for you at this time. Not that it's not doable or not something you can't work towards, but it's just, that's just not realistic for you right now. Whatever it is that you know, you finish this one chapter and you're moving on to this next chapter, you're kind of skipping a couple chapters ahead, you know. Which, I mean, we have this Wands energy, and like, Wands energy, we have this King of Wands, which tells me that like, you have the right mindset, right? You want to move on to bigger and better. You're like, hey, leaving this last chapter, that was tough, and I deserve something better, and I want something better. And that is so, so great. I love that. But we can't get too carried away. We have to remember I want to say the natural progression of things. I don't know if that's a weird way to word it. That's just what's coming to my head. Because after that, here we have this Four of Swords. Four of Swords reversed. Which is, I think, what would be the result of this, right? If you continue... getting a little visit from my cat. She's hanging out with me today. You know, if you keep applying to these jobs over and over that you are just unqualified for, and it's unrealistic that you would get, and I heavily specify, I'm not trying to say like you're not good enough or whatever it is. I'm just saying right now in this moment is not the right time for those things. Not that a year from now won't be your time. That is so not what I'm trying to say. I'm just saying right now I don't think that what it is you're trying to do is the best option right now, because it will lead to this burnout. If you keep trying over and over, as I was trying to say, if you keep applying to these jobs that you're not qualified for, and you keep getting rejected over and over and over, it's gonna be really frustrating. You'll be feeling this Four of Swords reversed energy, you know? Yeah. And then below that too, we have the Knight of Wands. This Knight of Wands reversed, which is like anger and impulsiveness. Yeah, I mean, I feel like this is kind of just echoing that. Like, oh, I was just pointing at that. Okay, I guess that's where she wants to sit right now. I think it'll just end up leaving you feeling burned out, frustrated, angry, you know, maybe even rethinking this decision, which honestly in this reading is telling me that whatever you moved on from, that was the right move. That's exactly what you should have done. But yeah, I think this is a pretty straightforward reading. I think it's we have this exchanging gifts here card, which is we have this exchanging gifts card here, which is it's about give and take, right? It's about fairness. And I think that's a really interesting energy to have with this wheel card. Letting things progress in a way that makes sense. I think you're being a bit unrealistic, which I love. I mean, we have this Wands and Swords energy here, right? Which is very powerful energy, and I think that's great. I really don't want to be discouraging you right now. I really don't want to come across that way, but I think that these I think now would be a good time to look at things in just a more methodical way. You know, maybe look towards, if you have specific goals, maybe looking towards how other people get those goals, or, you know, asking other people for advice. You know, just doing generally grounded things, more traditional things, instead of kind of hoping that you'll just get lucky, you know? I'm trying to think if there's anything else I can really pull from these cards. But I think that's kind of it. I don't really think I have anything more to say. If you do have any questions for me, or if you'd like any of the cards clarified or anything I said clarified, please let me know. you can leave a comment, or you can just reach out to me. I'd be happy to talk to you about this. Anything more I can get out of these cards, which I think I've gotten basically everything. I don't really have anything else to say. My Libra moons and anyone else watching, thank you so much for being here. And I will see you soon. Bye.